Hello friends, thank you so much for taking time to be with me today. I am really excited to share with you today my top tips for solving the top 10 makeup challenges that most of us with mature skin who are over 50, over 60, over 70 or beyond are dealing with on a daily basis. As many of you know, my name is Elise and I'm a professional working makeup artist who specializes in helping those of us who, like me, are over 50. Over the last 7 years, I've met and worked with hundreds of wonderful women who've shared their makeup concerns and challenges with me. And all of these challenges are certainly ones that I'm experiencing as well on a daily basis. A couple of years ago, one woman told me, I wake up in the morning and I feel like I'm 30-something. And then I look in the mirror and I think, what the blink happened? I think most of us can absolutely identify with that experience. But the good news is that there are makeup techniques that can really help us effectively deal with these top 10 challenges. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Before we launch into today's topic, I want to let you know that I upload videos to YouTube each Thursday. And if you subscribe to my channel and also hit that bell icon below the video and to the right, you'll be notified each time a new video is available. And I thank you so much in advance if you decide to subscribe and join the great group of women who are part of our family on this channel. With that said, let's get into today's topic. I'm going to give some quick tips for each of these 10 challenges, but if any of these challenges is a particular concern for you, I have put links in the description box below to videos that cover many of these topics in greater detail, which I hope will also be helpful. In just a few moments, I'm going to take off the makeup on one side of my face, at least most of it, so I can demonstrate the tips that we're going to be talking about as we go along. First, let's talk about the importance of magnifying mirrors. As we all know, our eyesight changes just a bit over the years, so makeup mirrors certainly help us deal with the remaining 9 challenges we'll be focusing on today. They're a pretty essential tool for most of us, so even though it can be a little disconcerting to see our face up close and personal, a magnifying mirror can really help us do a far better job with our makeup. And magnifying mirrors are not only available in 5 times magnification, but also in 7 and 10 and even up to 20. And there are special makeup eyeglasses available as well. On these special glasses, the lenses are magnified and fold down, or the lenses swivel from side to side. Let me show you a picture of what they look like so you can get an idea. So here's a picture of one of these magnifying glasses where there's one lens and then it can swivel from side to side. And here's a look at the other magnifying glasses. You can see there are 2 lenses and each of them can flip down. So I've gone ahead and removed my lipstick and most of the makeup from this side of my face except foundation. Now let's go ahead and start at the top of our face and work down. First, eyebrows, which are so important to framing our eyes. The biggest problem for many of us is that our eyebrow hair is definitely getting sparser. And although powder eyebrow products are probably the quickest and easiest solution, powder doesn't adhere well to areas of our brow where we have less brow hair. So the 2 best options are brow pencils and brow creams or pomades. Both do a great job of adhering to the skin. I also recommend creating a pattern for our brows before filling them in. All you need to do is take a brow pencil and using short strokes to mimic brow hairs, create an outline of where you want the top of your brow to be, and then do the same for the bottom of your brow. And then simply fill them in. Let me show you. I'm taking my e.l.f. brow pencil and I'm going to create a pattern in the top part of my brow and then do the same on the bottom of my brow. So I'm just taking short strokes very lightly and filling in that line along the top of my brow because it's gotten pretty scraggly. And then I'm going to do the same on the bottom. So I'm drawing a line where I really want that brow to be at the top and the bottom. And now I'm going to simply fill it in. And then I'm going to take my spoolie at the other end of the brow pencil and I'm simply going to run it through the brow to make it look more natural and take out any excess product. I'm going to put just a little bit more in so I match the other brow. The other product you can use is a brow cream, or it's also called a brow pomade. This adheres to the skin in the eyebrow area especially well. This pomade is from Maybelline, and it comes with a dual-ended brush, a spoolie on one end, and an angled brow pencil on the other. I'm going to take a little bit of this product, and then I'm going to wipe off any excess in the cap of the product. And then I'm going to just lightly fill in. I usually use the brow pomade or the brow cream when I'm going to a special event or activity because it really creates a wonderfully professional look. The only thing you need to be careful with is not to get too much product on your brows initially. That's why I really recommend rubbing some of it off in the top of the jar, because it can look a little bit too heavy or blocky if you use a little too much product. Next, we'll focus on hooded eyes. Hooded eyes means that there's excess skin that folds down from the brow bone to the lash line. Now, some of us have slightly hooded eyes, as I do, and some of us have a greater amount of skin coming down to our lash line. But these 3 tips will help no matter how hooded your eyes are. I'll run through them first, and then I'll demonstrate them. First, it's really important to use an eyeshadow primer all over the eye from the eyebrow to the lash line. That helps prevent any makeup from transferring onto other areas of the skin in our eye area. Next, use a light shadow from the lash line to the orbital bone, which makes the eyes look larger. And third, create a new crease with a mid-tone shadow along the orbital bone. And if you can't see this shadow when you look straight ahead into a mirror, bring it up a little bit higher so you absolutely can see it. Now I'll go ahead and demonstrate. First, I'm going to use an eyeshadow primer. This one is from Urban Decay, and it's called their Eyeshadow Primer Potion. And I'm going to put just a little bit on over my entire eyelid area. And you can use a brush. I'm just going to use my fingers to gently wipe it in. You want to bring it all the way down to your lash line. Now, I think you can probably see that that not only covered up a lot of discoloration in my eyelid. I have some veininess, I have some red area, I have some brown areas, and it also makes my eye look a whole lot brighter, which means it also makes it look larger, and that's what we're going for. Next, I'm going to take this light colored shadow, the one that's the lighter matte color in this particular duo, and I'm going to run that across my eyelid from the base of my lashes all the way up to my orbital bone. And if you put your finger right in this area, you can feel the orbital bone. It's sort of midway between the eyebrow and the eyelashes. And I'm going to apply the lighter eyeshadow color right across, sweeping it right across my entire eyelid area. What this does is make our eyes look larger. We're actually trying to create a new crease area for hooded eyes and also make our eyes look larger. Also lifting my eyebrow area by putting some of that lighter color there and also on the inner corner of my eye. So I think you can see that that area of my eyelid from the lash line up to my orbital bone certainly looks a whole lot lighter, and because of that, it also looks larger. Next, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Bite Size Eyeshadow, and by the way, these are only $3. They're amazing. This is one called Carnival Candy. You can see there's a light shade, there's sort of a reddish brown shade, sort of a maroon shade, and then a beautiful blue. And I'm going to put the lighter color along with the mid-tone color, combine those, and put those in the crease area of my eye. So I'm taking the 2 lightest colors from that e.l.f. eyeshadow quad, and I'm putting it right in that crease area. I'm starting about in the middle, but I'm also bringing it out a little bit just to lift my eyes a bit. And a lot of times with hooded eyes, you really can't see the color. So the important thing is to look straight ahead into your mirror. And if you can still see that color, then you're in good shape. If you can't see any color, then you want to bring that color up a little bit higher toward the eyebrow. And then I'm going to use what's left on my brush and just feather it up toward the eyebrow. I think you can see that really creates some dimension, and what we're really doing for a hooded eye here is creating a whole new crease area. Now, so I match, I'm going to take a little bit of that reddish maroon color and a little bit of the blue, and I'm going to put that in the outer corner of the eye just to give a little bit more of a dramatic look. I'm going to start with the maroon color, and I'm just putting it in the crease and slightly above the crease. And then I'm going to take some of the blue, and I'm going to do the same. And then I'm going to take my blending brush and really blend that all in so it looks seamless. And then I'm going to take another brush that has nothing on it and just give a final run through of that area just to pick up any excess product and really make things blend thoroughly. If you'd like some additional tips on things you can do for hooded eyes, I've provided a link in the description box to a full video on this topic. Our next topic is eyeliner. As we develop some texture in our eyelid area, it can become more challenging to apply eyeliner. Gently pull the eye slightly taut and then apply short lines or dots of eyeliner using a pencil or an eyeshadow as your eyeliner. Apply it as close to the base of the lashes as possible, and then use a Q-tip or a smudger, which sometimes comes at the end of an eyeliner pencil, or even an angled brush, to smudge out the dots or the short lines so they look perfect. This technique also creates a beautiful, soft, natural look. Let me show you. I'm going to use this Clinique eyeliner pencil that has a smudger on the other end. I'm going to pull this slightly taut so I don't have any crepiness, and then I'm going to just lightly sketch that area as close to the lash line as possible. And then I'm going to use my smudger and then I'm going to go in with the lighter shadow that I used on my lid, and I'm going to just go over that area just to soften it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put on my mascara so I have matching eyes, and then we'll move forward with our next challenge. Now let's move on to the rest of our face and focus on foundation. Finding the right foundation and the right lipstick color are two of the most challenging makeup conundrums for all of us. To find the foundation that will work best for you, there are really 5 questions to think about that will help narrow down your search. First, think about your skin type. Is it dry, combination, or oily? There are different foundations for each of these different skin types. The second thing to think about is how much coverage you want. Do you want light, medium, or a bit stronger coverage? Third, what kind of finish do you want to have? Do you want to have a totally matte finish, a satin finish with some luminosity, or a dewy look? Fourth, what is the undertone of your skin? Is it warm, cool, or neutral? It's extremely important to find a foundation that has the same undertone as your skin. And fifth, do you want an SPF contained in your foundation? Answering these 5 questions will definitely help narrow down the huge number of foundation choices that are out there. Now let's focus on that under eye area, since it definitely is a challenge for many of us. We either have puffiness or dark circles, or maybe a little bit of both. Using a jade roller that's been refrigerated for a short time can help reduce puffiness, or you can also use an eye cream that contains caffeine. That can also help. And then to help with dark circles, apply a color corrector in a peach or salmon shade before applying concealer. This color cancels out the blue-purple color of the dark circle. Then use your finger to lightly dot on a concealer that's 1 shade lighter than your foundation. By dotting it on and then gently pressing it in, you won't disturb the color corrector that's underneath. Then the final step is to dot on a tiny bit of pressed powder to prevent creasing. I'm going to go ahead now and do these steps on my under eye area. First, I'm taking a color corrector, and I'm going to use one from Color Science. Just squeeze out a little bit on my finger, and I'm going to dot this on just in the area, not my whole under eye area, but just in the area where I have those dark circles and that blue purplish color. So this particular color corrector comes in 4 different colors, so you can definitely find a shade that will match your skin tone. Next, I'm taking just a little bit of concealer on my finger and I'm dotting it over the color corrector as I'm just gently pressing it in so I don't move the color corrector underneath it. Then the last step is take a little bit of translucent powder, and I'm going to use loose powder, but you can certainly use pressed powder. And I'm just going to press a little bit of that in, very slight amount, underneath the eye to cover the color corrector and the concealer so it doesn't crease. I think you can see that that's really helped my under eye area. It doesn't completely do the trick, but it certainly does help. Our next focus is on blush, which I think is a bit scary for most of us, since many of us have images in our head of blush that's gone really wrong. For years, we've heard that applying blush to the apples of our cheeks is the best way to go, but our skin has changed just a little bit over the years, so in order to bring some lift to our face, we want to try applying a cream blush to the middle area of the cheekbone. Start 2 finger widths from the nose and then take the blush upward toward the top of your ear. As far as application goes, there's several different ways to apply blush that will really create a soft, beautiful, and natural looking flush to our face. A slightly dampened makeup sponge works extremely well, or you may want to put some blush on the back of your non-dominant hand and then use a brush to absorb the blush into your brush and then apply it. This will give a softer look. And the third method that works well is to put some moisturizer on the back of your hand and then dip your finger into the blush and then into the moisturizer. This helps the blush glide on so easily, and it brings a wonderful added glow to the skin. I'm going to go ahead and use this last method of mixing moisturizer with the cream stick blush and apply it. I've put a little bit of this Clinique 72-Hour Moisture Surge on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to go ahead and use these 2 Maybelline stick blushes, mix them together, and dip them into the moisturizer and then apply to my face. Unfortunately, I don't think these 2 Maybelline stick blushes are still available. I'm mixing together a lighter shade as well as a deeper pink. Then I'm going to dip a little bit of the blush into the moisturizer, and then I'm going to start about here, right in the middle of my cheekbone, and blend it upward toward the top of my ear. And it's always a good idea with blush to start with just a little bit. You can always add a little bit more if you want to get some more color. And I'm keeping it 2 finger widths away from my nose. And as you can see, I'm adding now just a little bit of moisturizer in addition to the blush. And as you can see, I think that brings a little additional glow to my cheek. Our 2 next challenges deal with our lips. First, how do we keep our lipstick from migrating or feathering into small lines around our mouth? And second, since our lips get smaller as we get older, how do we make our lips look bigger? The 2 tips for the issue of lipstick migrating are to first apply concealer around your lips with your lips spread wide, and second, to apply a special waxy lip crayon or pencil around the outer edges of our lips. Or you can also use a specialized lip liner such as L'Oreal's Age Perfect Lip Liner, which incorporates this somewhat waxy ingredient into the lip liner itself. Since we can use a lip liner to increase the size of our lips, using a product like the L'Oreal Age Perfect Lip Liner to both prevent lipstick from migrating and to help increase the size of our lips is really a great way to deal with both of these lip challenges at one time. Where we apply lip liner is also key. To make our lips look larger, it needs to be applied on the outer edge of our lips. It may not seem like this would make that big of a difference, but believe me, it definitely does. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my lipstick. I'm first going to take a little bit of my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer and put a little bit on my fingertips. And then I'm going to dot that around the edge of my lips with my lips spread wide. It's a little hard to talk on doing this. I'm spreading my lips because that allows the concealer to get inside those fine lines and create a barrier. Now, as I mentioned, you could either take some kind of waxy lip product that most makeup lines carry and apply that to the outer edge of your lips as a second barrier. Or you can use a lip liner like the L'Oreal Age Perfect one I mentioned that has this built-in ingredient in the lip liner. And that's what I'm going to be going ahead and using. This is a L'Oreal Age Perfect lip liner. And I'm applying it on the very outer edge of my lips to make my lips look larger. Because of that waxy ingredient in the lip liner, it really makes this lip liner absolutely glide on. It's probably the easiest application of any lip liner I've ever used. Then I'm going to mix together a couple of colors from the Age Perfect lipstick line and apply a little bit of gloss over it, and then we'll be finished with lips. One of the things I absolutely love about these lipsticks is that they are incredibly hydrating and glide on, just like the lip liner, extremely easily. And the last makeup challenge is probably the most important one to concentrate on, since it deals with our skin. And that challenge is, how do we go from dull to glowing skin? After all, if we have glowing skin, we'll definitely look fresher and more radiant and, dare I say, younger. It's important to do two things for our skin initially. One is to exfoliate our skin once or twice a week to remove dead skin cells, which definitely makes our skin look brighter. Second, one of the best skin brighteners is vitamin C, and combining vitamin C with vitamin E and ferulic acid makes vitamin C even more effective. And then we could go ahead and use a makeup product that brings some glow to the skin. This could be an under makeup primer that has some glow in it, a foundation that has glow, or a specific cream stick or powder highlighter that can be applied in strategic areas like the top of our cheekbones and above the cupid's bow of our mouth. I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of glow to my skin with a cream highlighter from Wet n Wild. This is what the cream highlighter looks like. Once again, I'm going to put a little moisturizer on the back of my hand and then add a little bit of the highlighter to the moisturizer and then apply it right above where I applied the blush at the top of my cheekbone area. So I have a little bit of the highlighter on my finger and I have the moisturizer on the back of my hand. I'm going to dip the product into the moisturizer and then I'm just going to lightly dab it right along the top of my cheekbone area. And the wonderful thing about this product is that you can use just a little bit to give you a nice soft glow, or if you use a little bit more, you can definitely do a stronger glow. And the moisturizer, as I mentioned earlier when I used the blush, really helps give a little bit of an added boost to that glow. So I think you can see how that helped. I hope this information has been helpful, and if so, I'd so appreciate it if you'd give this video a thumbs up. I'd also love to hear in the comments section below what your greatest makeup challenge is. And I have to say that it has been so much fun getting to know so many of you through the comments. I've heard from one of you who is in New Zealand, and a special shout out to Yvonne Diane if you're watching today. And also another special shout out to Elaine in Ecuador if you're watching. And I'd love to know where you call home as well. I'm in Arizona, but grew up outside of Chicago and called the Minneapolis area home for the last 44 years. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate your taking time to join me, and I hope you stay happy and healthy and have an absolutely fabulous rest of your day. Take care.